You can select any default avatar, okay? So click one of these avatars, click on the folder, come down here to asset area, and then we want to double click on the female underscore video. Then come down here, you can select any default avatar, say, okay, for Maya, Naomi, and Yuna, sorry. So one tip that I want to point out though, you want to select avatar that either have short hair or you can change the hair later. Let's say, for example, I want to pick Naomi, but the hair might be a little bit. Sometimes when you work with some garment that require the like tall neck and stuff, you want the avatar to have like short hair or almost have no hair. But you can do that with just go in and then change the hair. Simply, let's say you want to change the hair, just go in select hair, which is in here, double click on the hair folder, and then hover the mouse over there. I usually select these items. This one looks pretty good. And then now we are going to start placing the pattern. Okay, before we go to do that though, all right, I have some guideline here. All right, so now we are going to do a couple things here before we place the pattern onto the avatar. We want to remove certain thing here. Oh, by the way, guys, this pattern here, I already kind of shrink it to fit or to fit like a neck, but I'm going to show you how to make a realistic neckband without this pattern. However, though, for now, I'm going to show you how to sew this when you bring the exact pattern into CLO. So first of all, we want to remove half of the pattern here. So click on it and then either my key and then delete half of this pattern. Then I'm going to remove half of here. So it is faster to do it, guys, because you can use a symmetric pattern with copy here function to create this copy. So first of all, I'm going to show you how to sew this. So we want to come over here and then turn on this show a high arrangement point, and we want to place the front pattern onto the avatar first. Simply click, place, rotate it to the left, and then right here, then also back pattern, click right here to place the pattern. So don't worry about these neckbands nor hem and cuff. So we want to sew these pattern, these bodice and sleeve together. And there's a simple way to do that. We want to use the segment sewing tool and sew this, and then sew this part right here. And we want to use free sewing tool for the sleeve cap and press on shift, click right here and right here. All right, so we also want to sew right here the side seam. Okay, next we are going to simply come up here and let's click on this hide and show the avatar instead of the show arrangement point. So after that, we are going to make a copy here. So I'm going to my key select this pattern here, and I'm going to right click and then select symmetric pattern with sewing, just like that, and then simply click right here, and I'm going to sew the back together and the front together. Okay, and then how about let's strengthen this and then we'll simulate. Okay, so now we simulate. I'm going to stop the simulation here. Let's simulate a little bit more. All right, so now we're going to sew these cuff and the hem. I'm going to use the segment sewing tool. And over here, before we're going to sew in this neckband, we want to unfold. Let's zoom in a little bit, right click, and unfold. We want to select this unfold symmetric editing with sewing. And then I'm going to sew that using the segment sewing tool. Okay, unfold with symmetric editing with sewing, and use segment sewing tool to sew the next. And done. So as you can see right here, since we unfold it with symmetric sewing, now we only need to sew it one side and it's sewn both. So now I'm going to simply my key select just the neckbands, okay? And then come over here to this 3D window. We want to hover the mouse over that gizmo there, right click, and we want to select superimpose side, just like that. And I can see right here, let me kind of unstrengthen this, let me get to see better. So right there, now we superimpose the side over to the neck. So now we're going to do the same here with the sleeve, cuff, and the hem. Marquee select, come to the 3D toolbar, 3D window, hover the mouse over that square, right click, and then select superimpose side. And now let's simulate. Okay, so I'm going to stop that simulation, and we are going to show certain area shot. However, let's make a copy of the hem and cuff. Right there, I'm going to make copies. Right click and then select symmetric pattern with sewing and zoom in a little. Press on shift, click one right here to place. And now as you can see right here, the pattern sewn together. And after that, let's sew this pattern. I will use segment sewing tool, guys. It's so cool when we only have to sew one segment to one segment. We just click and then sew to each other with simply couple click, just like that. And let's simulate. All right, so I can see right here, the garment, the hem fit perfect because I already trained these area right there to fit on, have the property looks like a knit sweater. However, I will show you how to do that, how to shrink it. But first of all, let's finish this. And we want to sew the sleeve cuff as well. Kind of use the segment sewing tool. We want to sew the side seam, yeah. And then let's simulate one more time and stop the simulation. And right here, we want to also sew right here. All right, let's stop the simulation here. Okay, so next I'm going to apply the knit texture. So I already have my knit texture in here. I'm going to just double click on it and then go to my 18 digital knit fabric. And so instead of applying blue, let's try pink. Click, drag, and drop here. And then I'm going to, by default, we have texture selected. We want to click OK. And then come over here, we want to create a copy here. So I'm going to select create copy, and I'm going to name this 1 by 1 rib. And then we want to name the cable. And let's select that 1 by 1 rib and come over here. You see right here, this pink 1 by 1 rib. Select that and then drag and drop onto that 1 by 1 rib. And I'm going to marquee select the neckband, and we want to assign the fabric to that. And right here, right there, just like that, the same here, we want to assign this rib knit onto there. All right, so while these hem and cuff are selected, we want to come over here to the knit texture tool and simply click and then drag it down. So you can leave it white if you want or leave it pink. I like this style, like you have the little black kind of point out a little bit like that. If you look at some, let's say knit sweater from Ralph Lauren or Tommy Hilfiger, you will see this design. It's really cute. And the rib itself is, you can either 1 by 1 rib or 2 by 2 or 1 by 2 ribs, however you like. But for me, I will select 1 by 1 rib and it looks really cute. And now I'm going to select these neck bands, yeah, both of them. Let's zoom in a little bit so we can see better. So now we select both of the neck bands and then come over here to the 3D edit texture. Simply click and then drag. And as you can see right there, the detail is amazing. And continue to select. I'm going to leave just like that. Perfect. And let's see the back neck. Now look perfect. Let's hit number 2. Okay, it's almost there. However, though, a couple more things we want to do here to make this knit look realistic. Okay, so if I hide the avatar for now and simulate, if you see the knit itself, it is kind of fit, but we want this neck area here to kind of shrink in a little bit more, like elastin-ish, which we can do that. So we'll come over here and then apply elastic onto the neck. So go over here, use this edit sewing tool and click one right there. And then press on shift and then click one right here. Come to the property editor and we want to turn on elastic. So by default we have 10 by 80. And I'm going to leave as is and then simulate. And as you can see right here now, the neck shrink in like a rib knit fabric. And the same here, except we want to apply with different value. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in right here, and then right here, and right here. So we only need to do it 1/2. It will affect both. And then come over here to this property editor, and then come down here to elastic. Click on there, and then instead of 10 by 80, we want to change that to 2 by 95. And then press return enter on the keyboard, and now simulates again for it to take effect. We want kind of trim, but not too much as the neckband. Okay, and that's pretty much it. However, I said I'm going to show you how to apply different color. First, let's apply the knit property first. So we'll click on this cable fabric first, then come down here to property editor, and we want to scroll down until we see physical property and select this sub menu, click on it, and we want to find for French terry one or any other knit fabric that you want to play with. For me, I'm going to try to find that French terry. It's a little bit daunting here to scroll through and try to find it, but hey, you have to play with a few of them and then you will find out. I wish they have an easier way to do it, but this is what we got, so we will go with that. So this is Luke Terry knit. I'm looking for French terry one right here, and right now we want to select 1 by 1 rib. Come down here, click on the custom preset once again, and then this time we want to change that to 1 by 1 rib. Once again, come back and scroll over. It is a little bit daunting, but hey, I wish you have like a type in search name, like the fabric would be cool, but you don't see that. So I'm going to still looking for 1 by 1 rib, unless I missed it, but let's see. Okay, come back down to knit. Oh, right here. So 1 by 1, 319 gram. Click on that. So now if I simulate one more time, you will see the property of the knit fabric apply. That is perfect. Okay, now this is the fun part. We can apply different color. Okay, so we want to go to this editor and then go to colorway, and then we're gonna add, let's say it's three color for now. However, before we're going to do this, let me go to file and save it first because we're almost done. I'm going to select save as and projects. Always save your file, guys. So I'm going to type in like how to sew knit sweater, and I'm going to key select and then copy because we want to create a folder. Go to desktop, select new, and then I'm going to paste that, and then select create, and then select save. All right, so now it is saved. Okay, so I'm going to double click right here and then name that pink. And I'm going to click over here, this plus sign to the right, and I'm going to name that. Oh, okay, don't name it yet. How about bring the fabric in there first? And I do want to change that to cream. So let's select this cream color, click on that right there, and then click on OK to apply. And as you see right there, this is cream color. And I'm going to do the same with the right here with knit. However, though, I actually have to come over here to knit fabric, and then if I scroll up here, I will see this right here texture. I will select this rib 1 by 1, drag and then drop onto that texture right there. And now, okay, instead of select cream, I select pink. We want to select this cream one though. Select the cream one, drag, and now look at right there, guys. It changed perfectly. I will come over here and then select update. So there you go. I changed the color of the sweater quick and easily, and now the color of the sweater look realistic and beautiful. So next, let's create another color. So click on the plus sign and let's come down here and then make these a little bit smaller right there. And this time let's change it to maybe turquoise. So simply click on that cable right there, and then I'm going to select the turquoise color and then drag and drop onto that texture box right there under the property editor. And now it's turquoise. I will do the same here. Click on this 1 by 1 rib, and then come over here to the turquoise 1 by 1 rib, click, drag, and drop onto that texture right there, and there you go. I'm going to select update here, Okay, this is pretty cool. You can change this color. And guys, guess what? You can save all these color at one. So what you can do here, although I'm not gonna save it yet because I have to go in and then apply and change the fabric property and so on. So this fabric have kind of more realistic look. However, it looks pretty amazing right now, to be honest. I don't even need to change the particle distance if I don't want to, but I will, just because smaller particle distance is better quality for the rendering. All right, so now I can close this for now. Simply click on this X right there to close. And as I promised, I want to show you how to create this. Let's say you have your regular pattern and you want to change that pattern into knit, and you want to apply the neckband and the hem and the cuff. What would you do? Okay, so first of all, I'm going to remove this neckbands, okay? And remove the cuff and the hem, delete them. Okay, so I already subtract this 5 centimeter from the sleeve, from the bodice. If you bring your regular pattern and you want to create the hem for it, be sure you also subtract the length and then add it back. So for this example, I already subtract the length, everything ready to go. All I need to do here, I'm going to simply click right here to measure. Let's say right here, 15.58. I will use the rectangle tool here and click on the rectangle tool, 15.58. And then right here, the height is 2.2. And then I will create 2 of this and then select OK. And after that, I'm going to bring this one over here to the front. I can see right there. And then I want to bring this one close to the back, just like that. However, though, I want to change this width right here. Because if I measure this width right here, only 9.96. I'm going to change that. Simply click right here, double click, and then drag it in, right click, and I'm going to change the width right here. So 9.96. And then click on OK. All right, let's just double check. Yeah, 9.96. And if I click right here, 9.96, perfect. Then I'm going to bring it over here. All right. So next we want to shrink them to 90%. So 10% smaller than the regular one, okay? So if I don't shrink them, if I sew them together, I will show you. It will look awful. So I'm going to try that. Now create the bottom one. So 22.05, measure this. So 22.05 the same, and here 26.94. Okay, let's create 22.05. How about that? So 22.05, and then here we want to type in 5 centimeter, and then we want to create 3. Then click on OK. So the 2 of them are covered because front and back pattern the same size. We don't need to change that. Okay. However, though, the sleeve cuff, we have to change that a little bit because the sleeve cuff a little bigger. So 26.94. We'll change it to 26. 26.94, and then click on OK. And guys, I would recommend always double check your length, because sometimes when we dealing with number, if we confuse and then we put the wrong number, we want to catch it before we have to go back and redo the entire thing. It's easier to double check and save you more time to do it. And not only that, when you work on pattern after pattern, you're tired and mistakes happen. So double check as always. Sometimes I even triple check and I still make a mistake. I still found like I wrote down the numbers wrong and I use that number to draft the pattern. And at the end, I look at the number like, oh man, how can I miss that? So it's a good, it's a good habit to go in and double check. All right, so now this is, how about let me sew these first and then I will show you how different it is. First of all, let me unfold this part. Once again, click on that center line, right click and unfold with symmetric editing with sewing. Do the same right here. Unfold symmetric editing with sewing, and then we're going to sew this. Just like that. And then let's sew this as well. Why not? And then I'm going to superimpose side, my key select, right click, come over here to this 3D window, not too fast, and then hover the mouse over that yellow square, right click, and then we want to superimpose eye. Okay, so by default, I still have that rib fabric selected, but we'll have a different effect in a second. So I'm going to simulate, and as you can see right here, now the neck and the hem looks awful. Let me turn on the avatar. So right there, it doesn't train and all messed up. All right, so we'll fix that. Next, I'm going to actually, however though, the good thing about that is we still have the property, if I know correctly. Yeah, we still have the rib property, which is perfect. Now all we need to do here, make copy of this. I think that's one good thing about technology, that we just make a copy without having to do a lot of work. For the real garment, you have to go in and then cut. However though, this is not a 100 guarantee. You want to make and put into a production, you still make the sample, you still test the garment out. You're not just full-blown, oh, I test it on 3D, everything worked perfect, I don't need to do the sample. So first of all, guys, for many like big company like Columbia or OEI, if you guys live in Santa Fe or live in America, New Mexico, you know what I'm talking about. It's like OEI is like a competitor to Columbia or North Face. Not me. Yeah, maybe a little bit, because they do hiking, they do all those clothing. They spend a lot of money on their product development, because it's, if you look at their garment, they sell expensive, yeah, but look at the pattern, the structure, the sewing, it's perfect. When I walk into the store and I feel the fabric, yeah, the fabric great, but again, I'm more appreciate with the craftsmanship of the clothing that they produce, from the pattern structure, and when you put the clothes on, it feels so comfortable. They not only use this 3D to produce the garment, but they also do sample after sample testing to provide the perfect pattern and the fabric, as well as all the sewing come with it. Okay, and of course the trim, they do kind of give you a pretty good quality trim, like zipper, button, all those stuff. All right, so get back here. So, and another thing too, like the more you draft the pattern, the more you sew, the more you like conscious about what you want the garment to look like, you start to see more detail, like small detail on the garment, from stitches that apply onto that garment, and button and zipper, and even label. So it just, they go together, and you just appreciate that more when you look at the garment and you see all the thread and just match and feel comfortable when you put the garment on. Okay, all right, let's get back to sewing. All right, so now I'm going to start sewing here. So let's simply pan it up a little and use the segment sewing tool and rotate it. Right there, right here, and also I'm gonna sew right here. I'm going to simply simulate one more time. And right here, this is what you see, how the neck does not look good at all. So I'm going to now shrink this. First of all, I'm going to, all right, let's just adjust this first. Let's apply the texture onto. Use the texture once again, click and then drag it in. Have this perfect. I'm going to look at the back as well. Click and then drag it. All right, somehow I'm going to change the texture. Okay, so somehow I got this texture rotated, so front is black and then back is kind of grayish. So let's rotate that. Click right here and I'm going to rotate that. So we want black is black. And let's bring it up. So right here, and bring it down. So now we have our 1 by 1 rib, and then press on number 2, and I'm going to my key select all that cuff and use that texture, drag and come down here. All right, let's sew this sleeve here, and I'm going to simulate, and next stop the simulation. Let's change the tool here to move/selection tool, and Command or Control S to save. As always, remember to save your file while you're working, guys, because how many times, if any of you guys have a similar problem that you just lose all your file? I mean, CLO has some auto saving, but it's not save exactly the spot that you're working on, like probably a couple minutes later or earlier, which you don't want that. All right, so here now, let's do the trickage. Let me hide this avatar. All right, it's almost there, guys, but it doesn't look realistic, isn't it? So we are going to first do the neckband. Double click here, click, drag it in, right click. This time, so instead of change the width, we want to change the percentage to 90, okay? And then click on OK. And we'll do right here, double click, click, drag it in, right click to 90%, and then click OK. So if you look at closely here, right there, see this right here? It literally a little bit shorter than the neck, which is just what we want. And I'm going to do the same here. Double click, click, drag it in, right click, and change that to 90%. Do right here, click, double click, drag it in, right click, 90%. And one more to go, guys. All right, so now let's press on number 2, and I'm going to simulate one more time. Okay, so it's almost there, guys. But if we look at closely here, it's the neck right here need to shrink in a little bit more. And we can do that. Let's show the avatar first. So as you can see right here, we have these kind of the gap between, and it doesn't look realistic at all. So I'm going to zoom in here. Only the top part. Click the top part with Edit Sewing Tool, and then press on Shift, the top part right here. Come to the Property Editor once again, and then turn on the elastic, guys. Right there. And then let's simulate. And there you go. Okay, so something wrong here. Somehow it doesn't work well. What happened? So I must have made a mistake in some way. I'm going to come over here. What did I do? I must change it in the wrong one. So elastic on 1080, that's correct. But why? I'm going to let's stop. Oh, so when I rotate the pattern, it also affects this. I'm going to actually apply different fabric onto this. I'm going to add fabric. Let's see if I can fix that problem. So first of all, let's apply different fabric. So if that happened, guys, let me try again. So I have the back pattern fit really well. And the front pattern, I'm going to try it again and then see if it still have that problem. Then I will rotate. Okay, yes, I do. So I'm going to rotate this. I'm going to try to rotate this again. Let my key select that. And using the texture. And let's rotate it back. Hopefully that fixes the problem. Though, or I have to go back and then try it again. So turn on elastic. Rotate. Okay, I still have the problem. So next, this is what I'm gonna do. If that problem happened, guys, simply delete that. Okay, so the back worked perfect. Now we only need the front. We're going to create the front part again. And this time we'll use the same fabric. How about I'm going to apply. So I will measure again, 15.58. And then let's create 15.58. And then here, 2.2. And then click on OK. And after that, let's come over here. And we want to unfold the metric editing with sewing. Then we want to double click, bring it into, shrink it to 90%, then click on OK. Then I'm going to sew So hopefully this time fix the issue. And then I'm going to come over here and then superimpose side. And just like that, let's simulate. And I'm going to, let's show this side, please. Use the segment sewing tool. Sharing the tool here. And let's simulate. Okay. Stop the simulation. All right. So now start over. We're going to apply the elastic for the front pattern. Okay. All right. So keep my finger crossed, guys. So hopefully it works. So click right there and come over here. Elastic 1080. Click. Okay. So now it works just fine. So sometimes if you run into an issue like that, guy, all you need to do is, just like I did earlier, start all over. I mean, hopefully it's not the entire thing. That's why we have step-by-step sewing, because then we can start all over from the stuff that messed up and leave the stuff that not messed up where it is. So it saves us so much time. All right, so now I'm going to apply the texture and apply the property again onto that 1x1 rib knit fabric. So, okay, so come over here and then come down here. I'm going to select the turquoise texture for now. Click and then drag onto that texture right there. And here it's fixed. And I'm going to my key select that neckbands right there and come to this 3D edit texture, drag down here and leave it like that. It is beautiful, guys, as you can see right here. And guys, free texture, go down there and then download that free texture and apply onto your garment. Okay, the back messed up. Let's bring the back down. All right, so now we are going to, so I already applied the elastic onto the neckband. Now we're gonna go down here and then let's see if I apply elastic. So no, I do not. If you look at closely here, the one that with elastic has the green highlight and this one does not. So we want to apply elastic here. And once again, elastic turn on, but only 2% if you apply, so strength with 2 and then ratio to 95. Okay, and then press return enter on the keyboard. And we want to simulate. And after that, let's stop the simulation and let's apply the property onto this. Come down here, go down to preset and then change the custom physical property to 1x1 rib knit. Okay. Oh, I see. So I'm going to simply look for that 1x1 rib knit. I believe I passed it again. Huh. Somehow it's gone. Never mind. I'm going to continue to scroll down. I want to go up. So go to I missed it. Come on. That's not cool. So rib 1, okay, let's apply rib 1. That will be fine for now. So now rib 1 apply onto this. All right. Let's try to so now we have rib 1 apply onto the knit. Let's kind of zoom in open. All right. So there you go, guys. We not only sew this knit sweater, but we also changed to different colors, and now the knit sweater look pretty awesome. I hope you guys found the video helpful, and if you guys have any question or any suggestion about next live video, leave a comment below the video. I will promise to read and respond. Okay, thanks so much for watching, guys. I appreciate it, and enjoy your holiday. So see you next week, or maybe this Monday, whatever. Okay,